Yay Networks.
Hi, Wild Ones. Welcome back to the Wild Rose podcast. I'm Whitney Rose.
And I'm Connie Daniels. Whit, we are back. I'm so excited.
Back in action. It's been a minute.
I know. I feel like that is just life right now. Like it just is sucking time away from us.
It's weird that you say that because I literally feel like I don't even know what life is right now. Like I keep going down these like wormhole thoughts like, whoa, what am I doing here? Where are we? Why does it keep going so fast?
I honestly don't know.
Do you ever get stuck in deep thoughts and you kind of like get out of body and you're like, whoa, wait a second. I got to zoom back in.
I mean, like when I'm on psychedelics or like in real life?
In real life. I mean, it's Tuesday.
You know, when I have like a million things going on at once, yeah, it feels like you just are kind of floating along and you have to like, you're like, wait, I need to be in my body for a second. Get back to your body. That's what it's telling you, I think.
Yes, and I've been doing that. I've been doing all my grounding things.
Good.
I go outside a lot. That's what I do. I go sit outside in the sunshine and remind myself that I'm on Earth. I'm a human. I'm serious. I've been in this weird, like, just deep thoughts. Lots of deep thoughts.
Yeah, welcome to my world. That's where I live most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually there, but, like, they don't usually consume me.
Yeah.
Where I can't get out of it. But
that's interesting.
I don't know. I think it's just kind of the time of year. We're headed, summer vacation's over. The kids are back in school today.
Can you believe it?
I know. I have an 8th grader and a 5th grader.
Oh my gosh.
Don't
blink.
I think that's what's making me like trip out a little bit is just like watching my own life, like watching my kids grow up. Walking through the middle school just felt so different this year. I mean, she was in 7th grade last year in middle school.
That was middle school?
Yeah. But just walking through with Bobby, like, it almost felt like I should have been walking through the school. Like, I'm going back to school. It was so weird. I don't know if you experienced that, Jenica.
I was really bad about going to the back to school days and stuff. Once my kids got out of, like, elementary school, I was like, okay, kids, you're on your own. Good luck out there.
We went
fly out of the nest.
So Bobby had soccer during back to school night, so we had to go just during the day.
Oh yeah.
So we're the only two walking around the school at the time. Mm-hmm. So I went into every classroom, sat down in the chair, and I was just like making her so embarrassed the whole time. She's like, "Mom." And I'd be like walking around the classroom, be like, "I wonder who you're gonna sit by."
Junior high is like the ultimate time of embarrassment. Like, you get embarrassed over everything. All you're trying to do is fit in and not stand out.
I know.
That's their only job at that point is just fit in for the most part.
Yeah, 7th grade was very rough. I'm hoping 8th grade is better. Bobby does have more confidence and is, like, a little more sure of herself. Mm-hmm. So it's like you're saying, like, how do they put themselves out there? Mm-hmm. Where do they fit in? How do they fit in? So it's been, we'll see.
Yeah.
Dropped her off today with her, little makeup, hair curled, cutest outfit.
I can't believe she's in 8th grade.
I know. And she's just so happy. Even though she was scared, she like still turns around and gives me that cute little chuckle, little Bobby Rose. So happy. And then Brooks.
Was he excited?
He's so excited. He knows everyone in his class. So he's excited. He's been at that school since, he started at elementary. So he knows everyone there. He's kind of
he's almost like the oldest he's
the old man on campus now.
So he's comfy and excited to see his friends, I bet.
So we have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
When it's fall time, so that means kids are going back to school, work really ramps back up, things get busy, but that also means Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City airs.
Yes. And I want to get into that because I don't know if everyone out there saw it yet, but
I'm sure they saw it. It's hard to miss it.
Season 4 trailer dropped. It was intense.
Yeah, what did your main thought? Like your main takeaway?
Oh my gosh, it's like it seems a little extra dramatic. It's always dramatic. That's what it's about. But like it's intense. It seems like really intense. Like there's a lot going on. There's a new girl, Monica. How do you like her?
So before we dive into Monica, I just want to give a shout out to my editors because they're brilliant and they do such a good job. I don't know how they have not won an award yet. Because if you look at all of our season like opener, the trailers, the mid-season teasers, I mean, they have done some iconic stuff, and they should have been winning awards for this. Like, I'm hoping this season, I've heard our cold open is like chilling, so I hope they finally win an award.
Awesome.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Shout out to the editors.
What do they win? Like, is it Emmy award?
Emmys,
What award?
yeah.
Emmys?
Yeah, there's all kinds of rewards. There's all kind of awards. But yeah, they deserve an Emmy. Honestly, they've done some really cool things with editing. I'm just surprised they haven't won.
The trailer was
but the trailer,
crazy.
With Monica, we have a new girl, Monica.
I mean, there was a lot going on in this trailer. So
a lot. And what I loved and appreciate about the trailer is you can't really tell exactly who's involved in it.
Yeah, there's some kind of lies going on. Of
lots
course,
of lies, lots of rumors, lots of facade, lots
of things they're going to put to an end. I kept hearing that. Like, we're putting this to an end.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't the last season. Don't mean it's not like in that way.
Listen, Salt Lake City, we have dealt with it. We have dealt with so much. I mean, every season something major has happened, and we are all traumatized. I mean, season 2, feds stormed our bus. Okay, we were on a Sprinter van. Federal agents came to arrest one of our housewives, and it's like just that alone. Like, we have been through a lot. We've been through, I would say, a lot of traumatic things. A lot more than, some have been through, aside from the typical housewife drama. Yeah. But so we have a new housewife, Monica.
Yeah, she's the new face, and then there's 2 familiar faces. Angie K is full-time this time.
Yes. Well,
which I love Angie.
Welcome, Angie.
I love Angie. Yes.
She earned her snowflake.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that she's finally a full-time housewife.
Me too. Yeah. Me too. I really, really love her. But I can't say the same for the other familiar face. And if you've seen the trailer, it's Mary came back.
Yes.
So
Mary
how is that?
So
she's still calling you little girl or bobblehead
she still calls me. It's like all the old content, just retread.
Yeah.
A lot of retreading going on. And I don't really like that. I'm like, let's carve a new path, like come up with something new.
Yeah.
But no, Mary's back. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. It kind of goes against the typical housewife rules. If you don't go to reunion, you're done.
That's what I thought.
But she comes back as a friend of.
Okay.
So she's
not full-time. She's a friend of. Okay. Whose friend is she?
That's a good question. Meredith's
friend?
Yeah. Meredith's friend. She definitely did not come on as my friend.
Yeah. I could see that on the trailer.
Yeah. But no, I mean, the hard thing with Mary is she's Mary.
Yeah.
But like, she does add value in her like one-liners and comedy.
Yeah. And her facial expressions.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. She says it all on her face. So
she does.
I'm just going to leave it at that for now. We got to get through the first couple episodes and then we'll have more to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, are we going to do
enough,
are we going to break down each episode after it airs?
Do you want to do that this year?
Yeah, we should do that.
Because I was thinking, Whitney, with it coming up on fall, we started our podcast almost a year ago because it was like late in the fall.
Well, and we started in November.
Yeah.
Wow. And I couldn't really talk about episodes at the time because of Jen Shaw and her open case, but that case is closed and she is no longer here. So I can talk about the episodes again.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have more freedom that way.
Yeah, that's good. So maybe we'll recap this season each time. And
yeah, this season is really crazy. A lot from the trailer, a lot of drama. But my favorite thing about season 4 is it kind of returns back to season 1. Yeah. In the sense of the classic Salt Lake City fights, humor, like it went back to the OG, and I really like that. Like the fights are ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of drama, but it's not as like deep, I guess you could say.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah, and we have a lot more fun. We all get to know each other on a deeper level. So
nice.
I like that.
Well, you're not going to get out of these questions unscathed.
What?
So it made it look like you and Justin are not doing so well. He isn't wearing his ring.
Yeah.
You broke down at dinner with him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you guys okay?
Well, listen.
Can you answer that?
I mean, I think everyone who listens to this podcast knows where I'm at. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve, and if I'm going through something, I'm going to share it. It is really hard for me to hide behind the camera and not be myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really hard for me not to express where I'm really at, what I'm really thinking and feeling, and what I'm going through. And I've made it this far, sharing as much as I've shared. I'm not going to stop now.
Mm-hmm.
But marriage is difficult. We talk a lot about it. Partnerships, relationships, marriage, it's hard. Life happens. And Justin and I have been through some incredibly hard things over the last couple of years.
Even just having the show in your life.
Just being on a reality TV show is very stressful.
Absolutely.
And that's why they call it like the divorce curse.
Curse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard that.
So, you know, just battling through all the life changes that come with being on a reality TV show. Public opinion, everyone thinks they know everything about you, this and that. The judgment, outside people judging the situation. So we've been through all of that. Then we did Love is Art. Mm-hmm. Justin parted ways with his previous employer. That was difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I felt like it was my fault. I fight dealing with like shame and guilt over that. Still to this day, I'm still working on not blaming myself and forgiving myself for allowing cameras into certain moments and drinking too much on camera, being a mess, all of the things, right? Mm-hmm. And then, I've been on my own healing journey, and that's been rough because when you're growing as an individual, it's really important to make sure you're growing as a couple as well.
Absolutely.
And it's just been a difficult couple of years, and we're rebounding. And yeah, I think that anyone, if they say their marriage is perfect, they're fucking lying.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like there's nothing perfect about marriage.
No.
Nothing.
No, you have perfect moments.
Yes.
And but no,
you have
absolutely.
Two imperfect people trying to
make a life together.
And I will say this, yeah, we have ups and downs. And the trailer, you have to remember, it's a tease.
Right.
They're going to put in the most dramatic thing they can.
Right.
But yeah,
we have definitely you had people reach out to you?
I just shared some honest things with him that were hurting my feelings, and that's what they shared. People have reached out to me. The hardest part was my children.
Have they reached out to Justin?
Oh yeah,
too, to see if he's okay, if you guys are okay.
Yeah, I mean, I get asked daily.
Yeah,
if what's going on? Are we okay?
I
mean, our own daughter. The hardest part was Bobby.
So how did they respond to that?
They freaked out.
Yeah.
Bobby freaked out. She was like, I'm so nervous. I'm really worried. What's going on? And so I had to like reassure her that like, listen, we're on a reality TV show. The teaser is meant to do exactly what I just said, like pull in the audience. Mm-hmm. And I said, your parents are very honest and vulnerable and open. And so we're going to talk about things that we're really going through, because otherwise it'd be really boring. Like, what if we just like acted like nothing was ever wrong? No one wants to see fake perfection.
Right. People
want to connect to what you're really going on in your life. And Absolutely. I told her, I said, you live in this house, everything is fine.
Yeah.
Like mom and dad are with you constantly. We're together. We like, instead of like bring her back in to like look around at what's really going happening. On. Yeah. And that's helped, but she still asks questions a lot. And I think she's nervous for people at school and all of that.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's like I can either like run from it and retreat and be like, why did I do this? Why did I share this? Why did I go on a reality TV show? But I can't take it back.
Right.
And I love being on the show, and I love the opportunity and the growth. So I'm just trying to manage the kids through it. That makes sense. It's really hard.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. It's your real life.
Yeah.
So it's,
I think people forget that when they like tear you apart online.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm a woman. I'm an individual. I'm a mother. I'm a wife.
Yeah.
Like,
with a real life.
Yeah, I would love to invite people who hate and like throw strong opinions. I'm like, I'd love to see cameras pointed at you and you get the public criticism.
Yeah. Right. It's easy to sit behind a computer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Say what you want, but
all in all, I'm excited for season 4. We'll see. Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Yep. I cannot wait to see.
Do you know when it airs? Did it say?
Yeah, September 5th. Our podcast always come out on Tuesdays, and so now the show will be airing on Tuesdays.
Oh my gosh.
So we can do a recap.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's September 5th. It's in 1 week. 1 week from today.
That's exciting.
Isn't that crazy?
Are we going to get together and do little viewing parties again?
Yeah. Well, you want to do
I'll come over on Monday nights or Sunday nights or something because you get it a little early.
Yeah. So they send me a screener. I get the episodes early, and Connie and Ben always come over and watch it with Justin and I. It's our tradition for this will be 4 seasons now.
I know. It's so fun. Well, I'm excited.
And the first episode, you're in it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You came
That's
to
right.
the first day
I
filming.
did.
Yeah, the first all-cast event.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll recap that.
Okay.
Connie can tell you what it's really like.
Yeah. I will. I'll tell them actually what that day was like.
She hated that day.
I was like, what did I sign up for here? Whitney, I must really love you because I showed up all day long in the snow. But,
should we take a little break, and when we come back, we can continue talking about like change and what's new, what's going on?
Absolutely.
Do a little catch up?
Yes. Okay, we'll be right back.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Life has definitely been full of ups and downs, but this last few years have been a little more difficult than some. I've been processing past trauma and making big decisions and big moves in my professional life. And it's at times felt a little bit overwhelming, and I felt uncertain on which path to take or which direction to go. And I've really relied on therapy to help me process my emotions, work through decision making, and really have the skills to move forward in difficult decisions. Sometimes we're faced with crossroads in life and we don't know which path to take. Maybe you're thinking about a career change or feeling like your relationship needs some TLC. Whatever it is, therapy can help you map out your future and trust yourself to find the way forward. I love therapy because it really helps me work through my emotions and process my thoughts. It really helps validate where I'm at or helps me see things from a different perspective. I love therapy because I have learned skill sets to help me move through difficult decisions and difficult circumstances in my life. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited for your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/wildrose today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/wildrose. All right, welcome back from the break. While we're on the break, I was telling Connie that I miss doing our wildest thing. Because I have had some wild things happen and I needed to do a better job of like writing them down and sending them to you.
Yes.
But okay, so I was at dinner the other night here in Utah. We were meeting with just some of Justin's people he works with, the owners of the company, and some of his salespeople. And I walk into Thanksgiving Point, like going to the Harvest, which, by the way, if I'm coming to Utah County for dinner, like I at least have to be able to order a drink.
Wait, can you not order a drink there?
No. There's no alcohol at Thanksgiving Point.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and I'm like in one of those social settings where it's like you need a little social lube.
Yeah.
Because I don't know everyone. I'm meeting them for the first time. It's like lube. Justin's work people. I'm like praying they don't watch the show, whatever. I hope it doesn't come up. The trailer doesn't come up. I'm like,
because this is his
nervous.
New job.
Yeah, it's his new job.
Yeah.
So I'm walking in and this woman yells my name and I'm like kind of just looking and then I don't see anyone like immediately around me. I walk in and walk back out and I can hear this woman screaming my name like, Whitney! Whitney! Like
screaming.
And so I'm like kind of like, it's like kind of looking around, and this cutest woman comes running to me, and my eyes are really bad. I have an appointment, by the way. I'm probably gonna have to wear glasses again.
For like LASIK or something?
Yeah, well, just my contacts and glasses, whatever. So I'm like squinting because I'm like, what is she carrying?
She's carrying something?
Yeah, she's running towards me and she's carrying something. And she gets up to me and she's like, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture with you? I'm a big fan. I love you. And I'm like, I love you too. What's your name? And then I'm like, holy shit, she's nursing.
It was a baby?
It was a baby.
And she was nursing
but like
the baby?
a big baby, like a toddler.
Like a toddler?
Yeah, like an older baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, because when it's an infant, it's like, it's different, smaller, more compact. I'm like, what is hanging out of her body? It took me a minute to figure it out. And she was nursing, which I love. I'm all power to the nursers, you know?
Absolutely.
But we take the picture while she's nursing. Oh. Just baby out the side, take a photo.
She didn't even,
okay.
Oh, yeah. She didn't want to interrupt his dinner.
Foot. I was like, here we go.
Okay, that's a first, I bet, to take a picture with a fan while they're nursing.
Yeah. I mean, I loved how she has no shame. Because nursing is not something you should be embarrassed about. But if it was me, I'd probably unlatch.
Yeah, hey baby, you need to take a break for just a second while I burp you and take a picture with me.
Yeah, so that was sweet. I was like, okay, that's a first. I've been asked to hold a baby before for a photo. That was my first nursing photo.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, she didn't want to interrupt the dinner she was feeding. I love it. People are so wild.
Maybe the baby was like an angry, like if you if you disrupt feeding, it can go bad.
Yeah.
But
well, it sounds like it might have had teeth. It could have bit. Josh had teeth at 3 months old. Oh. He did bite me at 3 months old.
Ow.
And I'd still nursed him until 10 months, which is a miracle. But anyway.
Yeah, with teeth.
Yeah.
He probably had a full mouth by then.
Yeah, he had a full mouth.
Oh my
I was like, hey, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this anymore.
Nope.
Wild. What a crazy. I love hearing fan stories from you because I don't get to be there for all of them, but I've been there for some of them, and it's a wild world. It's fun.
We had a few at back to school night too.
Did you?
Yeah. I got to remember that I need to put myself together. Because I'm not always in full glam and I'm not always fully outfitted, and
ready for a photo.
Yeah, most days I'm working and just getting kids to where they need, and so I'm in like today, yoga pants.
Yeah.
Top, but I'm like, okay.
I still remember the time.
It's getting to the point where I think I need to be ready.
Yeah. I still remember the time. I think it was season 1 or right after it aired or something, and you guys had moved, or you were in the middle of moving, and so you were just wiped out, and we ran to grab Buffalo Wild Wings for dinner. And a fan came up and was like, Whitney, can I get your picture? And you had no makeup, hair pulled back. You'd been moving all day, in sweats, whatever. And you were just like, yeah, of course. So nice. But I knew you were so wiped out, but anyway, I've said that about you before. I love it. How you're always just so kind and sweet. It doesn't matter. You can't be in full glam and ready for photos all the time, but you are always willing to take the photo. And that's awesome.
Well, I would not be where I am if I didn't have the amazing fans that support me. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. Well, that's fun. That's a fun story. So, okay, back kind of to the topic. We were kind of talking about how much change is going on this time of year. Seasons start to change. There's a lot of change with kids going back to school. Maybe you have kids going off to college. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you just started a new job, or maybe you lost a job, or there's just always change going on. Just a lot of extra change this time of year. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. Whitney, are you the type of person that embraces change and likes change, or do you hate change and struggle with change? How are you?
I love change. I thrive in change. Yeah. I get really bored easily, and I have to change up my environment a lot. Like
today when I walked in your house, I walked in and her whole living room kitchen was all turned around. I'm like, wait, did I just walk into the wrong house? Where am I?
I needed some change in my life. Okay, so this is the longest we've lived in a home. Aside from our California home.
How long have you been here now?
It'll be 4 years.
Really? You've never lived in a house longer than 4 years?
California house for 4 years.
Okay.
But we sold it at 4 years. So in my
So you're itching for a change.
So I am just noticing this cycle about myself. And I, at this time of year, usually like wallpaper something, paint, change my house in some way, or move. But I decided I'm not going to do that. And so I just rearranged furniture.
I love it. I actually really like what you've done with it.
But I like change. Change stimulates my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not really scared of change. I think I've always thrived under that pressure of change.
Yeah. So, I mean, and there's all kinds of change that happens, right? Change is constantly happening in everyone's life, whether you like it or not. It's the only constant is change.
Yeah.
And so, like, some change is super exciting. Some change is scary. When you have like a lot of unknown.
Some you don't control. Like I can control the change in my house.
Right. Yeah.
Some changes you can't control.
Yeah. So how do you deal with changes that you can't control? Things are just happening. You know, I like to say things happen for you, not to you. Yeah. When I change my perspective on that, it helps me handle it better, you know?
Yeah, well, I think it's exactly that, is understanding and believing that everything does happen for you, not to you. That's one of my biggest reminders that I actually mentally say to myself. I'll write it down, put it on my kids' mirrors, put it on my mirror, because that is one of the biggest, I don't know what to call it. Like,
it kind of takes you out of that victim mode,
like
or
that is a
victim mindset, instead of, why does this stuff always happen to me? It's like, why does this keep happening for me?
Yeah, it's like a fundamental belief system. Like you have to believe that.
You do have to believe that.
Yeah.
And it is a shift. It's a shift to be able to think that way and for most people.
Yeah, for sure. You have to like rewire your brain to think that way. And you have to look at everything that happens and decisions, circumstances. You have to look at everything differently. But what I always look for with that mentality is, instead of looking at what is hard, so if there's something significant changing around me, like with the kids going back to school, for example, like that's change in schedule, that's change in how I map out my day. I mean, my kids, it changes a lot of things for me. But instead of being like, like, you know, life, because in some ways it's easier having kids go back to school. In some ways it's harder. We're definitely more busy, for sure. And I look at it as opportunity. I try to find the opportunity in things. So instead of focusing on what's going to be hard about it, I focus on where are the opportunities to level up or to grow or to make it work for me. So with the kids going back to school, I did not want to get up at 5:30 today.
Is that what time you have to get up?
Yeah, I had to today to get what I needed to done in time to, because I had to do the back to school routine of making waffles. Brooks wanted
Gosh, you're a good mom.
Well, okay, this
Make a hot breakfast.
Yeah, they had waffles and bacon and some fruit. And this is next level. I let the kids kind of pick what they want for lunch. Within parameters. But it's the first day of school, and Brooks went full in and took advantage. I had to make homemade pizza.
Homemade pizza?
Homemade pizza. I was up rolling dough this morning.
Wait, and you made it this morning fresh, not like last night?
Yeah. I'll show you. I have one in the fridge for tomorrow for Bobby.
Wow.
Bobby wanted sushi, and Brooks wanted homemade pizza. So I am not only getting up making waffles, I'm in the kitchen freaking rolling out pizza dough. And I
Mom of the Year award.
Well, I struggle with sleep. I woke up at 3 and could not go back to sleep. And so I just kind of got up and got some work done, whatever. But instead of like being like, oh, I have to get up and I have to do this, it's like I look for the opportunity of like, okay, so my kids are going to be away from school. That's hard for me. I like them to be around me. But now I can get stuff done. I can time block. I can prioritize. I can have alone time for myself and get more work done. Does that make sense? So instead of like focusing on what's going to be hard about it and what I don't like about it, I focus on what I like about it and where the opportunity is to make something better.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Another thing it makes me think of is when really hard changes happen, especially things that you don't plan for, that maybe hit you, like blindside you or whatever. I found, because, we've had some changes happening, big changes in our lives too. And I mean, I don't know if you noticed my nails.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
I don't have nails right now.
She has working lady nails.
Yeah. Working lady nails. And these can type way faster than my long nails. But
What happened to the Lady of Leisure nails?
Lady of Leisure is taking a break from leisurely living, and I'm going back. Well, I'm actually helping a friend plan a big party. So this is actually a big change for me because, one, I've never been an event planner, and this is like a wedding. This is like over the top. God bless him. He's so over the top and so much fun, and the party's going to be so great. But I've never done anything like this, even my own wedding. Like weddings,
This
both
party's
my weddings.
bigger than your own wedding?
I don't know if, we probably have more people at my wedding, a little bit more people at my wedding than at this birthday party. But like, I had a planner for that, so I basically just picked out a few things, showed up at my own wedding,
Yeah.
But it's been very
are
different
the
being,
planner.
I'm working with another planner, luckily, who's done this before. So, but gosh, props to people in the event business because it's a lot of work. There are a lot of, I always knew, these big parties have like a lot of moving pieces and a lot of planning and everything, but holy cow.
That's where I started my career, right?
No.
Event planning for corporations.
Girl, I should have been
Corporate
calling
events.
you like you need one more thing to do right now. But you did, really?
Yeah. I worked in
my
corporate events for
gosh.
10 years. That's how I met Justin.
Did you like doing it? That's how you met Jay?
Yeah, I loved it, but that was different. You have a whole team. You're doing more like flights, hotel blocks, flights, hotels, food, planning meetings, like agendas, things like that. So it's a little different than a party.
Right.
But
Still a lot of organization.
Yeah, it's just organization spreadsheets.
Yeah.
When's the last time you used Excel?
Yeah. I mean, I still haven't done the spreadsheet on this, but I haven't. You should see my notes. I have a book of notes.
I can help you put your notes into a spreadsheet.
Good. I might need help with that.
Give you a refresher.
I might need help with that.
Excel is your friend with events.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Keeps you organized. But not so much that actual change in my life right now, but I've just noticed that changes that, and this is kind of what I wanted to say about it. When changes happen in your life that you don't plan for, I find that the one thing, especially hard changes, I find the one thing that helps the most is focusing on the things you can control, because there's always something you control, even if it's your mindset, even if it's, like, I'm going to look at this differently or however. Focus on what you can control and don't try hard, is what I should say, to not focus on what you can't control, because there's so much in life that happens you can't control. And if that's all you focus on, you're going to go crazy.
How do you redirect your thoughts? Like, because I know that we all know this, but it's hard sometimes to not get caught up in
absolutely. I think
emotion of it.
I think it's training your mind. I think it's just going through things that are similar, changing events in your life over and over again, that you can kind of train your brain. Because I think when I find because your brain will just go to the problem, right? It just automatically goes to the problem. That's how our brains are created, to fix problems.
Yep.
So we go to all these problems that, we may or may not be able to control or fix. So when I kind of go down that rabbit hole, because my brain just goes there, I stop myself and I'm like, okay, I'm spiraling, I'm spinning. I'm not going to get anywhere doing this. So I just have to pull back and go, okay, wait, refocus. It's literally like I have to just keep grabbing my brain and pulling it back.
Yeah.
Over and over again. And depending on how heavy and deep and hard the issue is that you're going through, the harder that is to do. But
well, I like that you said that, because I actually do that without even realizing it. Like when I get really overwhelmed with like Wild Rose Beauty, for example, because I do it all.
Yeah.
I wear every hat in the company right now. And yes, I have agencies that help me with stuff, but like I'm doing a lot, and it becomes overwhelming. And what I do is, instead of like becoming overwhelmed and shut down, which so easy to do. And then you don't get anything done.
Yep. That's my go-to as well.
I get up and do something that I can get done fast, quick, that doesn't take much thought. So like I'll go fill orders, or I'll go check on DMs in Instagram or something.
So kind of put you in the momentum of moving forward so you don't stop.
Answer the easy emails that don't require work, just a response. And I notice that I snap out of it and then I stay in a flow.
I love that.
So it's like I create a flow and there wasn't one there. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So I didn't really realize I do that. Like I've taught myself a little bit.
Yeah, I love that. It's almost kind of like the idea of like when you wake up in the morning and first thing you do, you make your bed, because that is an accomplishment that you got done first thing, and then it sets the tone for the day. Like, so if you get stuck in your day, do one little thing that starts that flow again.
I love that you said that, because it's kind of like I do get satisfaction of making the bed, and even, this sounds so silly, even just getting my like lemon water, like getting that in my body, I'm like, I'm like set my day up right.
Yeah, it's like check the box off. Number 1,
yes.
Number 2.
It's like just really simple things.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I think that's important, like when life gets overwhelming, to really just focus on the simple little things one at a time. And as you kind of check those off during your day, by the end of the day, you're like, oh, I actually got through a really hard day, but like it wasn't as hard as what I was first making out to be in my mind. Because I think we kind of create this huge story.
And that is something
a lot.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you can go back to your checklist and see, no, I actually was in control of a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to teach myself the checklist. I thrive on it, my notebook.
I
learned that from Ben.
Yeah.
Actually,
he loves to check things off.
And I think that's great advice for someone that's feeling a little scattered, or like everything feels out of control. Like make a list of and prioritize it, and seeing it check off really helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, change. Do you thrive in change? Do you hate change?
I don't love change. I am not one of those people that thrive in change. The older I get, the more I welcome it. I think because I realize it's just it's life, like I'm getting older. That's a change. My kids are in college. That's a big change, and I don't necessarily love all of it, but
starting to work again.
I know, working again is like...
The podcast inspired you.
Yes, it really did. It really did. This gives me something to keep me going, and I love it. I mean, life just keeps throwing it at you. You can make up change yourself, like you said, or life will just wait a few days or a few months or even a year or two. Life will throw something at you. It will. There's no possible way. I love the analogy of like the seasons, and like that we can learn everything from nature, and nature changes seasons all the time, and we don't judge it. We never judge it. We never judge winter because it's here. I mean, we might not love winter and the snow here in Utah, but that's the time that like the roots are getting deeper in the trees and the plants, and they're, so by the time spring rolls around, it's more solid and it can grow bigger, but we never judge each season. We just accept it. And I love that idea of applying that to our lives and not judging change as it comes, and just accepting it as, okay, this is a part of my life right now, and this is what I'm going through. Don't judge it. Just handle it the best that you can.
That is beautiful.
Yeah, I love that. I love that we can learn everything from nature.
Yeah, and I never really, I've heard it in books and podcasts, things like that, but I always forget that, like winter, like you said, with the roots. Like I love visualizing that, and that analogy of, everything's cold and bleak outside, and it can be miserable if you don't like winter, but
me, I hate winter.
But the roots, like every spring, everything blooms bigger and brighter and more grand, and That is a beautiful lesson from nature. I'm going to remember that as it gets colder and colder.
Yeah. I'm going to try to remember that myself.
I'm going to envision these
For
beautiful
sure.
bushes that grew in bigger this last season.
That's right. I know that's the fun thing about having kind of a newer yard. Each year you get to see everything get bigger, but that's what, that's what can happen in our lives as we go through changes. We can grow bigger and bigger from it if we let it.
Yeah.
It can also make us stuck if we let it, if we get stuck in places. Sometimes it's necessary to be stuck for a little bit too.
Yeah,
so it's okay. And that's where the
stuck.
Yeah. And that's where the judgment part comes in. If you're stuck in a point in life that, don't judge yourself too harshly. Remember that you're doing the best that you can. And eventually that's going to pass and move, because there's no way you can stay stuck forever. It's just not possible.
Yeah, and I guess you just made me think of something on the flip side of change is like when you want change, when you need change, but having the fear of making it happen and taking the necessary steps to do it. And that applies to that. Don't judge it.
Yeah, you're right.
Let trust divine timing. But I know a lot of people right now who are in situations, they're like, and I'm in one too with Wild Rose Beauty, like, I have this opportunity to bring on an investor and hire a corporate team, but I'm so kind of, that change is a little bit making me nervous. Like I fear the risk.
And I'm control,
not in, yeah,
right?
and I'm not in total control, which I've grown it to this point. I need help. I'm busting at the seams, but it's just the fear of taking the risk of like raising money. Like what if it doesn't succeed? What if this? And I always have to remind myself,
fear
like,
and doubt.
Stop.
Yeah.
You have sales to prove it. You already have customers. You're already doing it.
Right.
Just make it bigger. And like, I do get stuck in the fear of change on that.
Yeah.
And it's not so much the change aspect. I think it's the risk. But I know a lot of people who are in like kind of maybe abusive, whether it be abusive relationship or a toxic marriage, or someone just really wants to like travel or move or, and it's like taking that risk.
Yeah, to end something or to start something or,
Scary.
It is scary because there's a lot of unknowns, and the unknown, I think that's why people probably struggle the most with change, is because change usually has a lot of unknown factors. Not always, but a lot of times it does.
But I think your advice is like beautiful, of like, just notice the change around you in nature. It changes every day.
Yeah, let that be your reminder.
You could go out to your trees or your plants and like some leaves have fallen, flowers have bloomed, some have fallen off, the petals are no longer there. Like, it's okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. And we didn't even need mushrooms for this.
Deep thoughts. We're going back to deep thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I love that. There's a lot of change coming, and I'm sure we'll, talk more about it in later episodes, but it's good. It's fall. It's the time to welcome. You let go of what no longer serves you, trim the fat, and
carry
welcome
on.
New opportunity.
Yes. Yeah, I love it.
Well,
I'm going to have to re-listen to this one and remind myself through the upcoming months of, like when you're strong and feeling wise and sharing your quote unquote wisdom over here. And then you have days where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where to turn right now.
Well, there's a philosopher, I cannot remember who said that they share their philosophies for themselves. It's a reflection so that they can look in the mirror.
I love that.
Yeah, it was profound. I will find
I
out
love
who
that.
it was.
Maybe that's why one of the reasons it's so healthy to journal and write it down. My friend Stephanie, not my friend, my cousin Stephanie, who we had on a few podcasts back, and she shared her story with surviving her addiction with heroin. And gosh, she's like 8 years sober or something now, but she came up with her own journal. Yes, remember the journals?
Yeah, I have it in here.
Yeah, and she makes these cute TikToks and stuff, but one of them was so cool. You have it?
Yeah.
I love it.
Bust this open and start
it's a guided. Hers is a guided. It's the Noble Paper Company, but she just did this little TikTok that made me think, like, when you make journaling part of your everyday, like your routine, she said, you'll notice the patterns that you keep doing over and over again, and you're going to get sick of writing the same things down over and over again. You're going to get sick of your own shit, is what she says.
Oh, I love that.
And so that's why it's another reason it's important to journal, is to just see the patterns and see if you change things that you maybe need to change in your life. So
I'm instantly going to take this to a darker side.
Let's hear it.
So give it to your spouse. You're sick of their shit. Give them the journal, and then they'll become sick of it too.
And they'll get sick.
Anyone you're struggling with, just give them the journal.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm giving journals to all my friends this year for their birthdays? I'm just kidding. I just think that they're cute and they're fun, and it's a great habit to get into. I struggle with writing. I'd rather talk, but there is something like neurological that goes on.
So good for your brain, too.
So good for your brain. Just that hand to paper. But I struggle writing.
I know, but it's so good for your brain, your emotions, your processing of information. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because
you can start journaling this fall.
Yeah, because I just write down at the end of the day, like, things that kind of stressed me out so that I can leave them there on paper and, like, make a to-do list out of it for the next day. But I need a journal in this way that's more inspirational, you know?
Well, on the flip side of that, I know now we're going down a rabbit hole here, but...
And then we were going to end the podcast. Now we're still talking.
I know. We are going to end it. I just wanted to say this because it's on my mind, because you said you end the day with writing down, like, problems that you had. I heard somebody, and now I'm trying to remember where I heard it, but I think it's like a doctor of some sort. I heard it on a podcast. But anyway, he said every single morning he wakes up and he says, today's going to be a great day. And he starts it that way, right? And he says, in the end of the day, he says he gives thanks. He says he does like a prayer, but you could do it, whatever, write it down, whatever. But he says, I go on a treasure hunt for what went right. And he goes, and that's my last thoughts before I, calm down and go to bed. So I think it's good to pick out things like you said, but as long as that you maybe leave on the last note after that is like, okay, also what, journal. A gratitude, or like what went right today, and then I think you sleep better.
Oh, absolutely. And I go in and out of practicing what I preach. I was really consistent for a long time of writing down what I was grateful for. And I always say, thank you. Thank you for my health. Thank you for this or whatever. But yeah, it is so important. It's crazy. You watch your life change when you do it too.
Yeah. What did they say? The gratitude is the highest vibration, the highest form of vibration that you can live at. So when you're in gratitude mode, you're vibrating at a very high spiritual level.
See, and that's probably why I didn't sleep well last night, because I didn't write down what I was grateful for. And it was the first day in about a week that I've been doing this 3-6-9 manifestation thing, and I didn't do it yesterday.
Oh.
So I didn't write anything.
And you had a big change today with the kids waking up, and whole routine changed today.
Routine changed today.
Well, there's always tonight.
Yeah. So I'm just realizing when I get off of my routines, all hell breaks loose.
Yeah.
Shit hits the fan.
Yeah, I can relate. I can relate. Well, all right.
It was nice
I guess
catching
we won't
up
ramble.
with you. Yeah.
I know.
Let's leave these poor listeners alone. We'll be back for more.
Yes, we will, with some guests coming up. So some exciting guests we have coming up.
Yes. But thank you to everyone who follows our podcast and listens each week. We love you. Honestly, you mean the world to us. And if you haven't shared our podcast with your friends and family yet, please do so. There's always something random in here that people seem to love. But we appreciate you. We love you. Again, go like and share and review our podcast. And don't forget,
be you, stay wild.
Yay Networks.